Was it in Corinthians, right? It's a good book. Like love is this and love is that, and love is this other thing. Love is up, love is down. So what you have, at least in that chapter, is that love expresses itself in a variety of different ways. It doesn't have to be romantic all the time. My brother, I've shared many times in this class that when we went to gatherings, it was me, Mirdad, and Hussein. And our teacher was Hussein. So we had two Husseins. The teacher died. The Hussein will die soon. But he's right now very sick. He can't do anything on his own. My brother goes there 2-3 times a week. And my brother is busy, but he goes there nevertheless. Sometimes love comes in the way of you sacrificing your time, your energy for another person in need. But he's not doing it for just anyone. He's doing it for Hussein because he's a relative, because we've had a rich history with him. I wouldn't do it, but he does. That's just sort of a person that he is. So sometimes love comes in the form of responsibility that you don't really want to have, but you carry it nevertheless. You know, kids are not fun. Parents love them nevertheless. I mean, kids are really stupid things to have, but you have them. I mean, what the hell else are you going to do in life? Especially if your life is going nowhere. And it's, I think, more than sufficient to just live one life just taking care of your sick parents. What all forms of love have in common is that they require or demand or demands from you to be patient. And the more you love, the more patient you are, the more you sacrifice. You know, the less you love, then that's a different story. The less you demand. But yeah, I mean, I loved my teacher, but I hated him as well because he was ruining everything about my life. Sometimes love and hate are siblings, and they fight. A romantic love, I mean, they're fun, but they don't end up well. I think very much like making a stew, that you chop things, you season them, you put them on the stove for 5-6 hours, and then after like a day or so, you taste it and it tastes really, really good. I think for us, it's very much the same thing. I mean, events come to us, elements, components enter into our life, and it takes time for us to see what they are, to chop them into pieces that are digestible according to our capacity. Then we play with them. You know, you play with ideas, you play with romantic relationships, you play with food, all sorts of things. You play with ideas in this class, and they stay inside you for some strange reason. I mean, most often, a lot of things that enter us, they go away because they're not really that interesting. Some things stay. Why they stay, I don't really know. There's a part of us that becomes attracted to those things, and they stay. And kind of like cooking. They cook without us being aware, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 years pass by, all of a sudden you realize, oh, this, you know, it's really, really nice. I can't tell you, I mean, it's something that's common, I think, with all instructors, that you get emails after like 20 years from some student you don't even remember anymore. They say, oh, you know, I was sitting on my toilet bowl and all of a sudden it made me think of you. I mean, that's not the best way to kind of word your email, but that's what they say. And all of a sudden I remember all the ideas we talked about in this class. 20 years had to go by. And that's how it is. I have a book of dreams that I started writing when I met Hussein. You know, it's about 200 pages. Once in a while, I haven't done it for a while, but once in a blue moon, I open it, I read through some of the dreams, and now they make sense. It's only 45 years later that I'm able to appreciate all the things that my parents have done. It's about 30 years later, I can appreciate what Hussein has done. Why couldn't I appreciate these things while he was alive or while my parents were doing what they were doing? I wasn't ready. I was a container to hold these elements, but not to process them, you know, not to understand them. It takes time. You know, just because you and I disappoint our parents, don't count yourself out just yet. In 5 or 20 years' time, you have no idea what you're going to do for them. If I was to come to you saying that my wife has left me and I'm sad and depressed and all those things, I mean, I'm 3 times your age, but I'm sure you're reflective enough and insightful enough and empathetic enough to give me a pep talk, to sit me down, bring me a cup of coffee, maybe hold me a little bit, and then tell me things are going to be okay. If on the other hand, you were going through that scenario, you wouldn't be able to give yourself a pep talk. Because to give someone a pep talk means you have to stand outside of the pain. And if you're in pain, you and the pain are one and the same. The only way you can give yourself a healthy dose of self-reflection and examination, and i.e. a pep talk, is you say, yes, I'm in pain, but you're able to kind of detach yourself from the event, from yourself, from all the expectations, all the memories, all the emotions, and say, okay, let me see what the hell is going on. You can do that for a short period of time, but then you get swallowed back. I mean, do not discount and dismiss the power of imagination, fantasy, expectations, investment in time, the historical narratives you create with another person. I mean, you're like 20, and you're talking about something that took place like when you were 5. I mean, you're talking about like 10 years of history making. That's a lot of stories. That's like 10 volumes of Harry Potter. And all of a sudden, what, today you wake up and you say, I want to get over this. Are you kidding? Like, you've written 10,000 pages. Do you know how long it's going to take for you to get a pencil and delete all the lines? At least 10 years. So you will not be able to find the root causes. What you will do is you will understand that things are not working out for you, and you will throw a temper tantrum for a long, long time. And there's nothing wrong with that, except that other people in your way or in your life, they just become damaged. But you don't really care. It's your life, it's your emotions, you're important, you're significant. Once you're tired of your infantile behavior, once you realize that the way you are destroys everything that's good in your life, you try to read some books, you try to talk to your friends in an intelligent way. That will help for some time, but you're still young, you lack the experience, things have not been cooked inside you the right way. So you say, you know what, I'm just going to Google a good therapist. And then now you seek help. And the only thing that a therapist really can do is open your eyes. You'll begin to see some things. You'll begin to feel some things. And then it's going to take you some time to process the things that you are seeing and feeling. And by the time they taste good, smell good, give yourself 5-10 years after therapy. Because the only thing therapy does is it'll allow you to see things. But processing what you see, that's a different story.